I will be honest, I was not anticipating doing a news video today, but with all the stuff that I found and the fact that we have not done a news video in probably close to a week, I figured now would be the time, and I decided to do so because we have some news that I've been waiting for a while, but we'll get to that news in a second. As also, this weekend, specifically on July the 1st, Saturday, July the 1st, it is Money in the Bank, live from the O2 in London. It is the first WWE pay-per-view since Night of Champions in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, back at the end of May, where I've said it before and I'll say it again, L.A. Knight is the man who should walk out with the Money in the Bank contract and the person that should defeat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Even though I love Finn Balor, and even though Finn Balor has earned the opportunity to be World Champion again, I think LA Knight is the man for the job. Yeah. As far as the other stuff is concerned, as far as the other matches are concerned, I think that it would be best to wait for the predictions this weekend and take it from there. But now we jump backwards before we jump forwards, and that is jumping backwards to the last match that Grayson Waller fought in Money in the Bank, in NXT, and that is Spring Breakin' on April 25th, earlier this year, about a month before the draft, and it was finally reported the reason why Grayson Waller, or one of the reasons why Grayson Waller has not been a part of regular television and or competed. I do genuinely believe that WWE is trying to hold off his debut and get him acclimated to the product and the fans, as opposed to just making him compete in random matches, but getting him acclimated to the fans before letting him compete. Like, basically letting his charisma talk for him before his in-ring ability has to talk for him. But I think the other reason, and it is a legitimate reason, that the other reason is because Grayson Waller sustained a broken leg during his match with Carmelo Hayes on April 25th in NXT, and basically nobody knew that he sustained a broken leg. To my knowledge, nobody knew that he had a broken leg. And the fact that he actually had a broken leg, and number one, nobody knew, and number two, they still made the move to bring him up to the main roster, and nobody knew up until now, to my knowledge, that he had a broken leg. I mean, props to them for hiding it, and props to Grayson Waller for not leading on the idea that there was something wrong. You know, props to him for basically doing what it took to have it taken care of in the best way possible. I mean, I don't know what the timetable for recovery is on a broken leg, but I know it's not, a couple of weeks. Either way, I do hope this means that we could be seeing Grayson Waller make his main in-ring debut on the main roster sooner rather than later. But with that being said, we move along to another unsuspecting illness, as we were all expecting Adam Cole to face Filthy Tom Lawler at Forbidden Door. But the fact of the matter is, it didn't happen because of an unsuspected injury or illness to Adam Cole, baby. As Adam Cole was written out of the match due to an illness, it does seem like it is legit because there is nothing that says that it isn't. But could it be played into the feud between him and MJF? Absolutely, it could. Absolutely, it could. But do I think it is also legit? I think it is legit because I feel like it would be pointless to have announced the match like they did the week before or a few days before the pay-per-view, to then turn around and not do the match. You know what I mean? It's like, why announce the match if you were gonna end up having the match not happen for storyline purposes. You know what I mean? So I do think Adam Cole is not 100%. And I will say that I hope for both Adam Cole and Grayson Waller that they can return sooner rather than later. And I will also add the American Dragon Bryan Danielson to that list, as Bryan Danielson believes to have fractured his forearm during his match with Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door in the main event, which that I know from looking at other reports seems to be a 6 to 8 week recovery time for that injury for the American Dragon, which Bryan Danielson, I believe, his match with Okada was his first match since Anarchy in the Arena a couple of months ago. So he's been sporadically competing. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing that he hasn't really competed. So we're not really going to be missing out not seeing Danielson in the ring, even though he might be injured. But I do hope that we get to see Bryan Danielson back soon and Grayson Waller in the ring, as well as Adam Cole, and that it's nothing serious. Because in the wrestling world, injuries happen, and it's just something we got to deal with. But that doesn't mean that we don't hope the best for those who sustain those injuries. And I know for a fact that Forbidden Door will be the most talked about AEW event in recent memory, but there's something coming up, and there's something coming up in August, and there's something coming up in August will be what people talk about. They will talk about Forbidden Door until AEW heads to Wembley Stadium for the very first time. AEW is going to be in the UK. And that will be what everybody's talking about once we start heading into the month of August. Whenever that is. Well, whenever that is, where Forbidden Door will not be the talking point, and All In will be moved to the talking point, because the talking point has been that everybody is wondering Sting's retirement match, because it is unquestionable that All In is going to be the biggest event in AEW history. It's going to be the biggest event in AEW history, and many think that Sting should retire, but Sting has gone on record that he will not retire. He will not retire at All In. No matter how much it makes sense, Sting will not be having his last match at All In. He is not ready to hang up the boots for the last time. But let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on finally knowing what happened to Grayson Waller, Forbidden Door, All In, and Money in the Bank, which Money in the Bank is Saturday, July 1st, this weekend. With that being said, though, that is it for me in this video. We got one more news video to go, and I will see you then for that one.